Hello everyone, welcome. It's this week's Etch Play Weekly live show. I'm your host Adam Burt and I'm here every Thursday, apart from next Thursday, because it's my birthday, hint. And we're here to talk about the world of video games, and I'm joined by Dan Thomas for the first segment of today's show. Hello Dan, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you Adam. Thank you for having me on in the rearranged show that I've sprung on you at the last minute.
That's okay. Shout out in the chat, who have we got? We've got Pete Keating, we've got Tony, we've got Ben, we've got two Bens. Hello and thanks for tuning in, we appreciate you. I'm having some tech issues. I'm going to try and transition to a new scene. Is it going to work? Yeah, there you go, we've got some B-roll. First up, we're talking about the rise of aging gamers, and Dan, you've been doing some independent research about this, gathering some facts, as an old man would. And you're here to tell us about aging gamers, silver surfers, but for games.
The silver surfers of video games. This is a subject close to my heart, as you say, as an old man. It's something that I think about a lot. Is this idea that I'm a gamer or I play games, whichever terminology you want to align with, and I am aging. I'm pretty much a 40-year-old, which, when I think back to kind of my childhood and my relationship with video games, and kind of, I guess, the stereotypical lens of people who play games, it's still seen by many as something for kids. And I think about why is that, and how is that changing, and what does that mean for me as a 40-year-old person. And the way I see it is video games in the home were only really sort of viable at the earliest in the 70s, when Pong was the first kind of home video game that anybody would have, and obviously that was the first. It wasn't ubiquitous by any means, and so before then you didn't really have anybody growing up with video games. I was born in the very early 80s, and that was the kind of the decade that saw Donkey Kong, Tetris. Towards the very end, we had the NES and the Game Boy emerging, which kind of about the age that perhaps I'm developed and mentally aware enough to embrace with these kinds of things, and that captures my interest. So I feel very privileged that I've kind of been on that very early wave of the gaming journey. In the 90s, we had kind of Sega, Genesis, Mega Drive coming around, and mid to late 90s was the dawn of kind of PlayStation, and obviously throughout that time as well, PC gaming is always building a bit of momentum. And so then I think, so I was there effectively at the dawn of it. And then if I compare myself to, say, my parents, who kind of born in the 50s and the 60s, like they were already 30 plus years old when the first games consoles came around, so they didn't have anything to engage with as children. And games are great, games are fun, they are addictive and they're enjoyable and they're creative. So why am I going to stop engaging with that? And so I don't, and I keep bringing it with me. And the older I get, new games come about. The people who make the games are getting older. A lot of my peers kind of had that same relationship, and they've gone into the world of developing games. So now we're seeing the evolution of game content, also kind of perhaps being somewhat in tune with people of all ages. So that's, I guess, kind of my hypothesis on the idea that actually there isn't a young demographic for gaming. There is an aging demographic for gaming because we're taking it with us.
Yeah. So do you think that in like 50 years' time, that in the nursing homes there's going to be Halo LAN parties? Is that where we're going?
Yes. I do. Whether there'll be LAN party, because that is one of the things I do think about, is kind of the engagement with kind of online multiplayer culture. Perhaps you disconnect a bit from that. Certainly, I mean, that's purely anecdotal from my perspective. You're not as connected and competitive because you're busy, you're old and slow, and getting owned by teenagers isn't as much fun as it used to be. But the types of games will evolve and develop, and now we're very much in a time of really, like, we've got all sorts of games, not just multiplayer, high reflex competitive games. We have strong narrative games. We have kind of AAA cinematic. We have cooperative games and those sorts of things. You'll like we do with film and music. You'll want to re-enjoy again, and the new games will also be developed to appease to those audiences. So yeah, I'd like to think in a few years' time I'll be in my retirement home, still with probably some kind of oversized controller for my decaying body to still engage with.
Are you 40 yet, Dan?
Very, very soon I am.
You're not even 40 yet, life begins at 40, so you're not
exactly.
Technically,
Absolutely.
I'm negative 9 years old next week. I wanted to ask you about the way that you think this reflects on, and you mentioned it a bit there, about the way that it reflects on the creators in the industry, because I don't think that video games necessarily reached the absolute heights of true maturity as an art form completely yet, but there's definitely been a trend in AAA towards being more reflective of those kind of adult experiences, I guess. And I think about, the last couple of years, there's been almost like the rise of the dad game in things like Last of Us and God of War. Like the stories of those games are clearly informed by people who have been fathers. And I guess as people get older and carry this hobby with them into even older age, we can hopefully expect an even broader spectrum of life experiences to be represented on those kind of fronts.
Absolutely. 100%. The parenting is obviously something that comes with aging, and Activision actually did some research on this a couple of years ago, and by all accounts, 71% of mothers play games in some form or another. And that incorporates mobile and all sorts of games, and you can imagine that's kind of those pockets of time that maybe you get when the child's asleep but I'm not going to move. What will I do? Well, I'll play a game on my phone or grab a Switch. And equally, YouTube Google did some research, specifically researching their gaming audience, and 47% of YouTube gamers are also parents. So there's a huge demographic of people and that's on YouTube. So that's engaging with games media rather than necessarily game playing itself. So yeah, exactly like you say, there's been a rise of, let's say, dad games and parenting games and all sorts of things. I think that's kind of like perhaps one of the best examples of that is The Last of Us, which has a whole kind of adopted parent vibe and really, really strong narrative elements. And that's a super strong trend at the moment, and like I say, there's still a lot more to be explored for sure. And related is and it's something I'm not a parent. We all know I'm averse to any such responsibilities, but I am married, and games is a significant part of my married life. So myself and Andrea, my wife, we will play games in much the same way as a couple. The stereotypical couple sit down, watch a movie. We do that, but we will also sit down and play through a game together. And again, kind of the narrative games really suit that kind of environment, and we get invested, we get excited about release dates. We'll watch the awards and things like that. So yeah, it's a big part of adult life for some, and I only envisage that as the wedge of gamers that are growing up moves along, that will just get more and more so.
Yeah, I remember back in the day we used to, in the era of like Grand Theft Auto lawsuits, people used to talk about, in 20 years there will be, people in Houses of Parliament, people in Congress who play games, like as people get older, and that's kind of started to happen. Like there's very famously last year, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez playing Among Us on Twitch, and there's many more kind of closet gamers in politics, which is a good thing. But yeah, I guess like you say, like people are just carrying it with them from a younger age and maintaining it essentially, because the industry is growing up alongside them.
Absolutely, yeah, and it is. I kind of mentioned the privilege I feel having. It's not very often you get to witness the entire lifespan of an industry, and I feel like with video games, mobile phones, the internet, people of my age we've been there at the very beginning, and it's certainly not going away anytime soon. So to be able to witness the entire extent of that, and yeah, exactly as you say, people in positions of authority. I run a team, but there will be politicians and members of parliament that will be in a few more years avid video games fans taking that with them. The perceptions will slowly shift. It's the media loves a scathing headline about the damages of video games, but that's what happens. That's what happened with TV and film and music, and this is the video games are the new kind of rock and roll at the moment, but they will eventually become just the norm for sure.
And what about somebody who maybe hasn't got that historical nostalgia? Like if somebody has a parent or even a grandparent, I suppose, who is like interested in games, like what are some games that you think they should start with or genres they should check out?
I actually think that's a whole potential almost discipline or genre of game that's these kind of perhaps bridging games that can. I mean, Microsoft recently did a campaign around this about kind of connecting, particularly in lockdown when there are grandparents perhaps at home not able to see the family, and using games to connect with them. I do think that's an area for simple games that we can use to onboard perhaps people non-native games players. A modern new AAA title, you've got a controller with 12 buttons on it, analog sticks. They are complicated, and it's only if you're native to it that it's simple. And there are people who see the notoriety of games and they see, that my family are really into this, I want to participate, but that's a big barrier to entry. So I do think there are obviously simple games there. Mobile is a great example of this. The demographics for mobile games just skew way older as well because they're so accessible. So yeah, I'm if there maybe the avenue for that is retro games. We go back to the Super Mario's where you had jump and that's about it, and that's the on ramp for new people. But definitely room for innovation in that arena for sure.
Yeah. And are there any other stats that you've gathered as part of your research that you want to share with us?
I guess this is all kind of driven by my opinion and personal experiences. So I have looked into this a bit, and there's a research organisation called Savanta that did some research. 86% of people aged 16 to 69 have played a game in the last year. 54% play on most days, and of that 54%, there is 46% of those people are over 40. So that's a significant chunk of people who perhaps people's default assumptions wouldn't be included in these kind of stats. The ISFE, who are kind of a trade organisation focused around Europe, the average age of a video games player in Europe is 31. And 38% of games players in Europe are over 35, 22% over 45. So again, that's kind of echoing that stat that it's not just teens and young 20-year-olds. There are players of all ages. And there was also a study done by the AARP, which I don't remember the name of the acronym. But it's an American kind of retirement-focused organisation, and 44% of over 50s play at least once per month. So, yeah, there is a huge audience here, and I think that's where you have large audiences, and where there's opportunity to focus on a niche. There's opportunity for games businesses, games publishers to actually cater perhaps a little bit more for this aging gamer demographic at all ends of the spectrum. These people are strategically, they're an extremely viable market. They're influential. They have disposable income, and particularly start looking at the retirement age. People have time, and they need to fill it. So, that's some hearty stats to back up this idea that I have. And certainly something to dig into a bit further, I think.
If you're old, let us know in the chat.
And Adam, you're no spring chicken yourself. You said it's your birthday soon. Did you mention that?
I know. Yeah, it's my birthday next week, and I'm already I'm already past the age that you would. I'm past my prime. Let's leave it at that. We're going to throw to a pre-recorded video, as we like to do on the show, just so I've got time to try and fix some scenes. And this is Wreckfest with a few of the guys from the play team. So enjoy this. We've got about 10 minutes of Wreckfest gameplay, and I'll be back to tell you all the latest industry news, including stuff from Microsoft, Amazon, and Nintendo. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome to another Etch Play video. It's me, Adam Burt, speaking, and you're watching Wreckfest. I'm joined by a convoy of Etch's finest. We've got Pete Keating. Say hello, Pete.
Hello, hello, hello.
We've got Ben Gammon. Say hello, Ben.
Hello.
And we've got Ben Joy. Say hello, Ben Joy.
Hello. How are you all?
Good. We're ready to smash things up, and the race has begun. Pete, you're in the pink bus, which I've just pushed into a wall.
Thank you for that. Now you're stuck behind me.
And yeah, this is a game recently released on Game Pass, but also got a Xbox Series X upgrade, and it's a game kind of just about smashing cars up, which, I mean, that's fun, right? Everyone loves that. So yeah, this is a spiritual successor to the Flat Out game series, which you might remember if you're a fan of Destruction Derbies. There's a wide
Love
variety.
Destruction Derby.
There's a variety of game modes in there, and mostly we like to do races and smash each other up, because that's a good way to blow off steam. He's gone off-road.
Adam, why would you do that?
Because I love seeing you suffer.
Right, here we go. Bang! Oh, how you survived that?
I'm surprised I survived that. I thought I was gonna.
I just lipped you on the edge and not full on. The love bus almost took its first victim. Hearts in the chat to the love bus.
Hearts in the chat for destroying Ben Joy's vehicle.
Yeah. Oh no. To be honest, I think I'm just destroying myself. I'm right.
Cam on the sneaking into the podium.
And there we go. There's the end of our first race. Ben Gammon made the podium. Congratulations.
Ben Joy did not finish.
Ben Joy.
Hit anything.
I said before we started I should not have picked the three-wheeler. That was an error.
You said you've been practicing for weeks.
What? I've played like 20 minutes of this game so far.
Chat, that's
Okay.
a lie. He's been practicing for weeks.
I'm sticking with it. Oh, you guys are all in school buses. Should I be in a school bus?
Yeah, come and join the bus gang.
Yeah, let me get in the school bus.
The cool kids sit at the back of the bus, and the even cooler kids drive the bus in Wreckfest.
Ooh. That's why I wasn't driving a bus.
It's a strong map for the bus.
Not even cool enough to get on the bus.
Have you played Crash Canyon before, Ben?
Right. Let's do this. I haven't. I have not played that before.
Probably one of our favourite maps.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's my actual favourite.
It's very close to my favourite. But I love it because you love it, Adam, to be honest.
You just like seeing me happy.
That's nice.
Yeah. And to be fair, Crash Canyon is the only map I've got a win on. In the bus.
I'll just be happy if I finish, to be honest. I've gone from like 4 to 8. Oh, what? Oh, this is a nightmare.
Get him! Yes! Adam, take that. Little Ben Gammon and the love bus. Double team.
Oh no, me and Pia going head on. I'm now in critical.
Yes!
I'm
Hearts
not-
in the chat for critical damage.
I'm not.
Stop
Finished.
saying
I'm not.
Get,
I'm not even.
get away from me, Gam! No! Gam!
I don't think
Destroy
I'm
the
finishing this
love bus.
lap. Never mind this race.
Gam. I think we should start back to the love bus.
Oh, Adam's ditching the bus.
Yep.
He's going for the winner, you Adam.
I'm trying to show off a variety of gameplay styles, you know? That's my remit here as host of the video.
How are you going to chop this all together? You're just going to take one race?
I'm just going to make it look like I've won all the races.
The magic of editing.
Here we go.
Oh, the guy in the truck's still there. He likes the carnage though. Oh, he's just been flipped.
Get out of
Who's the yellow bus?
Me.
it. Then joy.
Oh, nice.
Oh, is that you, Adam, that just got done by the truck?
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh no, I'm not sure I should have gone up this ramp.
Oh, he just sandwiched the guy in the American car. I'm stuck.
I've been stuck here for about 30 seconds.
Oh no, I could go up that ramp. They just wiped myself out. Oh, what an idiot.
Oh, Ben, I just nailed that yellow car as well.
How do I always come out of these alright?
You must have known that was coming. Oh!
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 Oh, I got a wreck.
I've just
Oh my god, the truck! Oh, I've just smashed him off the ramp.
I've got absolutely
big
no.
bus.
Here we go.
Oh!
Ah, I just missed him.
Oh no. Oh, have that, Gam. Have a bit of that.
Hey,
Oh, it
was
has- it has-
up at the top. Look at that. That's amazing.
Oh, shouldn't have gone.
Ah! Don't freak you. Oh no.
That was very close.
Oh, I've ended up slipping behind Pete after I went after Gam.
Yeah, you don't want to be last of the buses. Especially behind the love bus. Hearts in chat for the love bus, guys.
Here we go!
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely nailed him!
no! Oh no, I'm critical. Critical damage.
Left Ben Joy lying in his wake.
Oh no. Oh, I'm wrecked. Oh, you
wrecking him as
Ah,
well. Watch
didn't
the
even
chat
finish.
for the love bus. Another
Oh,
victim.
no.
What's a
Ah.
fifth? Adam, are you still going?
Yeah, I'm in second place, mate.
That's why he's
Oh.
keeping quiet. He's concentrating.
Right, Ben Gam, we need to find him. Can't have him.
I might wreck going over the journey.
Oh, was that you, Adam?
Yeah. I now have.
Oh, gee, that was. Oh,
Yeah, I just took out another car.
you were very close to crashing to Gam as well.
42 health here. I'm in a good position. Just got to find out. 3 people in front.
Adam doesn't look like he's got much health left. Take him out, Gam. You're on.
Oh.
You're on his tail. Finish him.
Oh, he needs to be head on. Oh,
Which way did he go round?
Go right. Go right.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry. Plenty of time yet.
oh, I think I just missed him.
I'm desperate to see Adam get wiped out.
Oh, someone's just wiped out on the ramp.
When I'm playing pretty risky material, I'm not sticking away from the crash points.
Oh. Oh, did she?
Get him, Pete. Get him.
I
Oh.
can't get to him. The bus isn't quick enough. Oh!
Yes. Oh.
Oh, I did it.
Now you can. Oh.
I did it again.
That is
The
so
love bus, I
close.
think. The love bus. Oh!
Oh.
I've been wrecked.
I wrecked someone.
Oh, what the hell is this turn?
This isn't going to end well for me.
Oh my god. I'm just stuck.
The harvest has gone out the track. Ben Joy, can you get out of the way? What's going
What?
on?
How am I supposed to get out of the way when
Get
the
out of the
harvest
way
is
of me
there?
and the love buses. Oh, just in the What are you doing, Adam?
Just taking him for a ride.
Get away from me.
Way to throw back to the studio, and we'll see you again on the future Etch Play videos. Everyone say goodbye.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Bye.
And I am back. You're watching the Etch Play Weekly Live show with me, Adam Burt, and it's time for the news. Usually I do the news with somebody else, but nobody likes me this week. So you've just got me. But it doesn't matter, I'm still going to give you the rundown of all the latest goings on in the industry. And we're kicking off with some news from Yuki. Yuki is the body that represents the UK games industry in government and in other matters. And they announced this week, actually last Friday, that the UK market for video games has reached a record £7 billion in 2020, which is an increase of almost 30% from 2019, and beats 2018's record by more than £1 billion. So the good news here is that while 2020 was a very difficult year for many people, a lot of consumers turned to games for entertainment and as a way to entertain themselves or to virtually connect with friends and family, and that's really paying dividends for the industry in terms of revenue. So congratulations to everyone who released a game in 2020, especially the guys at Animal Crossing, who probably made 6.9 of that 7 billion. Next up, we're talking about Microsoft. Microsoft is one of several companies in talks to acquire Discord, a pair of new reports have claimed. So this is coming from both VentureBeat and Bloomberg. Apparently, there are buyout discussions in progress within Discord, and any sales expected to be worth $10 billion US. Discord is quite a popular chat app, very popular among video game fans, and it's currently free to use, but with limited extra features available to those who subscribe to a premium account. It's called Nitro, is their premium service. And it has actually made profit before, so it's never made money. So $10 billion sounds like quite a lot to me for a company that doesn't make money. But what do I know? I don't work at Microsoft. Microsoft, of course, previously acquired Skype for $8.5 billion back in 2011. So with inflation since then, it's a similar move to that. And who knows what that could be? You know, it could be that Discord becomes more tightly integrated with the Xbox ecosystem. It could be that parts of Discord, from a technology point of view, make Teams better. If anyone uses Microsoft Teams, will know that it is not very good. And Discord is quite good. So hopefully Discord will stick around for a while to come and we'll still get to use it. But yeah, that's the latest with Microsoft hot on the heels of purchasing the fledgling company. Over at Sony, they're reportedly planning to close their online digital stores for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Portable, also known as PSP, I don't know why I read the full name, and PlayStation Vita in July and August. So this is the digital storefront that allows you to purchase games for the PlayStation 3, PSP or Vita. So once this has gone down, you'll no longer be able to buy those games, even if you have one of those consoles. Sony didn't respond to a games industry biz request for comment, but this has come from an insider leak, essentially, they're saying. So it remains to be seen whether it's true. But yeah, bad news if you have a PlayStation 3 or a Vita or a PSP and you like downloading things, you won't be able to soon, apparently. Digital storefronts, eh? Gotta love them. Over at Amazon, the other company with too much money, they've announced the opening of their new Canadian studio based in Montreal. So the studio will be focusing on a new online multiplayer IP under the direction of a team of industry veterans, and they pretty much all come from the Rainbow Six Siege team. Obviously, Siege is a very popular game, does well both generally and also in the kind of esports world. Amazon so far have failed to make a big impact in the world of games. They released a free-to-play hero shooter called Crucible in May last year, but it kind of retreated out of beta after a month and was shut down for good last October. So interesting to see that Amazon are continuing to invest in games, but it's not necessarily worked out that well for them so far, and we hope that Montreal studio is going to do some good stuff. So best of luck to everyone who's joined that new studio there, mostly former Ubisofters, like I say. Back with Microsoft then. Microsoft has rebranded its online service, formerly known as Xbox Live. It's now known as the Xbox Network. So this is to distinguish the underlying services available to all users. So just the ability to upload clips and the ability to get data from the internet about games. With the service Xbox Live Gold, which is the paid multiplayer option that they currently offer. The change was first spotted by users on Twitter over the weekend before Microsoft confirmed it to The Verge shortly after. So if you see your dashboard update and the word Xbox Live changes to Xbox Network anywhere, that's why. Xbox Live Gold's in a bit of a strange place. I mean, they tried to raise the price on it earlier this year and everyone was like, no. And now that you mention it, why are we paying for this in the first place? It's a bit of an oddity, which made a lot of sense in the early days of the Xbox ecosystem when Xbox Live was far and away the best online service for gaming because they took a lot of the effort out of it. They hosted everything and they made it all seamless. But in a world where a lot of these games are now, cross-platform and available on PC, where the PC players aren't paying for multiplayer, it doesn't really make sense to still charge for it. I wouldn't be surprised to see Xbox Live Gold just become part of Game Pass in the near future, which is something that a lot of pundits have suggested should happen. But Microsoft, thus far, has yet to make that change. Stay tuned for that one. Nintendo fans, don't worry, we've got news for you as well. So Nintendo have announced a new partnership with Niantic, the creators of Pokemon Go. They're going to be making more augmented reality games, starting with one based around Pikmin. And I have a quote for you from Shigeru Miyamoto. Niantic's AR technology has made it possible for us to experience the world as if Pikmin are secretly living all around us. That's a hint about what the game might be like. So the game's expected, like Pokemon Go, to encourage real-world exploration and walking with your phone. And maybe not the Pikmin sequel everyone was hoping for, but it's an interesting development all the same. And another push from Nintendo into the kind of mobile world as well, which they've done a little bit of, but they've also been a bit reluctant to go all in on. One last news story for you then, and we like to end our news segment with a Games for Good story. This is about celebrating the fact that games can be a powerful force for good in the world. And this week, it's also coming from Yuki. So Yuki and Games London have, in fact today, launched a new Green Games Guide to help the UK games business, to help UK games businesses, I should say, take action against climate change, which I'm sure you don't need me to tell you is a very serious problem and threat facing the world at the minute. So the two organisations have partnered up with a alliance called the Playing for the Planet Alliance. And the idea is that this Green Games Guide is a resource that contains practical advice and outline steps that games businesses can take to reduce emissions and waste across their offices and operations. The partnership's also hoping to encourage the sector to think about how it can use its huge reach. So the game industry also has a big reach. We reach a lot of minds, we speak to a lot of people. 1 in 3 people on the planet potentially are reachable through games as a way to start conversations and start people thinking. So hopefully they're going to inspire some people as well, and how we can inspire change to, frankly, save the planet before it's too hot to live on. I know I said Games for Good, I ended up quite a downer there, didn't I? Thanks for tuning in though. I've been your host Adam Burt, and earlier you saw Dan Thomas talking about aging gamers. This has been the Etch Play Weekly Live Show, and if you liked this show, if you liked Wreckfest, or if you liked the news, or if you liked the discussion, it's live every Thursday at 4 PM on Twitch. And if you're watching us on Twitch, you can follow us right now. It's a purple button down in the corner, down there. Click it right now. And if you're watching us on YouTube, on Catch Up, because you're a busy person, you've got a life, that's fair enough. You can also follow us on there as well, so you get notified when new videos come out. And we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.